today, so I needed to do some checking, and I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks so much for joining. This is our very last mini talk. We're not going to take the whole hour. I just want to see how you're all doing. I really want to stay connected to you. I have some special offers I'm going to be talking about during this brief talk today. I hope you'll join me. Stay connected, stay focused on the story that you know you have in your heart to tell. Stay passionate about this compelling call on your life. And I want to help you. I want to help you any way I can, no matter where you may be in the process, no matter what budget you might have. No matter what you are doing, if this is part of your business or you just really feel compelled to write your story, how can I help you best? And what are the main things that you are trying to overcome? I also want to know how this series has helped you and what particular speaker meant the most to you as far as what they had to offer and say and encourage. What other speakers in the future would you like to hear? Would you stay with me if I did some more of these series? I've really enjoyed doing it. I've learned so much. And so I accidentally got Siri going here.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again?
Sorry, guys. I'm going to turn it off. But anyway, just let me know. Ask the questions in the comments below. Stay in touch with me. Send me private messages. Whatever it is that I can do, that I can help you with, I would really like to. Let me tell you a little bit more about my business, and then we'll get to a little bit more of the whole series and wrapping it up. I am, again, you know me now. You've been with me this summer. I'm Tracy. I am a long time passionate. What am I passionate for? I just love to be with creative people. I remember when I went to New York City when I was a junior in high school. We took a class trip, and my greatest desire were for the arts there. So we went to art museums, we went to a Broadway play, but another friend and I snuck off. We left the group. We weren't supposed to. Still can't believe we did this. And we got on the subway and we headed to Greenwich Village, which in those days, and I think still is, a melting pot of artists and writers and songwriters and musicians. And so it was so exciting to me. It was the early 70s, the hippie era. You were hearing about Greenwich Village and all the different things that were going on around the country. To me, it was like a mini Renaissance during that time. There was such a value for new thought and new writing, new authors, new song. I was all caught up in that, and it was part of who I am today. I've evolved and changed the way I thought in so many ways since then. But I just, that's always been a passion to hang with creative people, and especially writers. So all my life, I've developed groups around that. I've taught classes in writing. I have really gone after dream culture, which is it's actually the name of a book that some friends of mine in Bethel wrote. And I've taught it so many times. And I'm going to be offering another class on that, an online class. If you're interested in taking that, if you have a dream, not a night dream necessarily, but a destiny dream, a dream of your heart, or more than one dream that you've just never let go of, or even if you did let go of, you still have possibly some hope for, an inkling of hope. I want to encourage you to read this book, Dream Culture by Andy and Janine Mason, and take my class. We will go through the book, but we will also strategically help you set goals and meet and tactics to arrive at those goals, set milestones as you work towards your dream, no matter how big or how small. I have seen people start businesses, start ministries, go on trips, buy something that they've always wanted. When we meet together, we pray together, we understand that Holy Spirit is in this with us, and He actually puts those dreams in our heart, and there's purpose to our dreams. We can we can really stride towards our dreams. We can meet our dreams. We can even fund our dreams. So I'd love to talk to you more about that. I love working with especially creative people, but anybody, I mean, that has a business dream, to me, is a creative person. So consider that. That's one of the classes that I teach. Another around my big passion for hanging with creative people is I teach a creativity class. How can we use our creativity, our art, painting, music, writing, any kind of strategic business thinking? How can we use it 24/7 to bring the glory of God's creation to people that may not have ever really thought about it or been introduced to that? You know, there's things that we can do through our art that can really help people discover who they are, and that there's something larger than life that's beyond what we can see with our physical eyes. You know, our painting can help. I've seen paintings bring healing, physical healing to people. Writing to help people understand that they're not out there all by themselves, that there are others out there that have gone through what they have gone through and have found victory. Like, how can we use this? It's not all about church and religion at all. It's about life and victory and God's goodness and kindness to his creation, to his biggest creation, which is you and me. So, you know, whether you think of it or not, your story is part of your ministry, and your ministry actually is just relating to other people. That's all we're supposed to do, is bring love to the world and build relationships with other people. Be kind. We've been hearing that a lot lately. How can we use our creativity for that? I know that many of you have some amazing ideas out there. So we have the Dream Culture class. We have the Kingdom Creativity class. I use Teresa Dedman's book for that. And Teresa was one of our wonderful speakers during this series. I teach a writing class. I use my own book in that, The Art of Writing. We will go through the stages. I'm not going to teach you necessarily how to write, because I believe if you feel and compelled to write, you already have it in you. What I'm going to do is guide you on how to get started and how to complete a project, like a blog post. How's that? So how to set a goal and meet that goal. How to believe in yourself and have confidence that you are the one to tell this story. So that's my writing class, and that comes with an hour, free hour of coaching. And then I teach a blogging class, and that is so much fun. We go through the setting up of a blog and actually what the keys are for writing a good blog post. And so we've launched several through these classes, several blogs, which I'm so proud of my writers for participating and being brave and at least getting a blog out there. You know, 30 blog posts could equal a book. You know, you could be writing a blog a day and have so much material if you wanted to actually produce a book. So we go through that, and it's a fun interactive class. All of these classes are using Zoom, so we're interactive. I get to see you guys. So those are some of the classes that we're offering this year. We're going to be doing a challenge, and I'm so excited about that, because I believe that the people that take this challenge are actually going to come out of it with a published piece. So more on that later. And then I am so excited. I've had this on my mind for a long time. God gave me a picture of a coffee cup that I'm actually having made up to offer members of this group. I would like to invite you all to participate in a writers group. It's going to be online using Zoom. It's for those that are really interested, serious about furthering their writing, that for those that have a story to tell and a God story to tell that can help the world. I really want to focus on that kind of a writer, and I want to propel you, compel you, energize you to write your stories. And so what we're going to do through this course, and there will be a very small membership fee, but what we're going to do, we'll have a monthly meeting, and then actually an alternate meeting too, where we share more. I'm going to be doing some teaching, but it's a lot more interactive. We're going to be sharing. We're going to be sharing favorite quotes from amazing writers. We're going to be sharing paragraphs from our journals. We're going to be sharing potential blog ideas. There's so many things that we're going to be interactive about. And I love this idea. I love using Zoom. I've learned so much through this summer just doing this series. I would love it if you would join me on that and be a willing participant, be brave. You know me by now. You know I'm an encourager. There is only kind critiques, if critiques at all. We are here to encourage your writing, to help you know you have a voice and a story to tell, that only you can tell it in the way that God wants it to be told. And this is going to propel you forward. So that's coffee. We call it the Coffee Writers, and membership, at least for the initial members, is going to include this beautiful coffee cup, and I'll be sending that to you. So there's more on that I'm going to be sending out this week. You'll have access to quite a bit of my material, and so it'll be a fun group, and we can learn from each other. Plus, something about all of this is the biggest delight to me in all of this is the fact that we connect, that we're making new friends through this. I have so many new friends as a result of doing this summer series, people that have contacted me and about coaching or just questions or opportunities, everything. It's been so fun. I actually have learned so much that I want to teach you. If you want to be doing something like what I'm doing to help more people connect in something that you're so interested in, you know, I'll make a class around that too. We're going for it. I just believe this is a time. This is a time that, you know, we've been hearing it for so long. Those of us who are believers, that we're just shine our light. You know, there's points of light that are brilliantly shining around the world right now. God is doing something. He's got a strategy to this, even in these tough times. I just encourage you to rise above. Try to see it, your life and your region, your country, your situation from the viewpoint of the throne room of God, and just see if your trust and your love expands. See what ideas you might have to even just bless the person that's hurting next to you. I just know that there's strategy, and there's goodness, and there's amazing victory coming. I don't know what it's going to look like. I wish I could see, but I don't. But I just know. I just know because I trust my Father, right? So those are the things that I'm offering. As far as coaching goes, you know, I do have a services sheet. If you're interested, I'll send you that. You actually I will actually do an email list broadcast of some of the services that I offer, but they go everywhere from developmental editing, which is helping you write your book as you're writing your book. So we'll go chapter by chapter, and I can start seeing in your manuscript what things may be of concern, what things need better flow, help alert you to, or give you ideas too of ways you can make it better, that it can be a great book for the reader to read. So I love developmental editing. That is not copy editing, but my team has an amazing copy editor. And so we've got everything in place for you to write your book, and developmental editing, copy editing, coaching, as you're even just trying to figure out the concepts of your book. I offer coaching. That includes one-on-one phone conversations or Zoom conversations. You get the video recording of that, and a few notes of suggestions beyond that I think of later. But that's part of it. That's part of what I offer. There's also an Awaken the Author workshop, which is my great fun delight to do, because we get to do it in a lodge in Colorado. I line up, whenever I go to Colorado, I line up these people. We go to Healing Springs Ministries Lodge, which is a beautiful place owned by my friends Nancy and Steve Ranfranz in the mountains of Colorado. And we spend a weekend, and it's a workshop, and it's really what it says. It's to awaken the author, awaken your story that's within you, help you see the things that you've learned in life through the hard things that have happened, through the good things that have happened, through the blessings that have happened, things that you've overcome and found victory from. It's to help you discover that things only you really could tell that story to help somebody else that could be going through that same thing. Through this whole Awaken workshop, I can offer, you leave with an 8-page outline of your book with the title, the audience, the mission for the book, the mission for each chapter, and a basic outline for how to write what your book is going to be about, the theme, and so you would approve that at the end of this weekend. And then from that point, I actually develop a longer outline for you, 20 to 30 pages, which actually goes through every part of your book, every chapter, every sub-chapter. We do titles, we put down key questions for you to answer as the writer based on the interviews that we do with you all weekend long. And you'll come out of it just with an outline, which, remember when Jeremy Brown was talking to us during the summer series, he talked about that. It's like he said, a well-written outline is really 50% of the book. So you just need to sit down with the outline, answer the questions, and your book is written. So we start the Awaken the workshop with hours of interviewing one-on-one the author. And I'll ask you key questions to help you remember things about your life and to highlight things about your life. And now your whole life isn't going to be in your book, but your life and your life stories and your family and where you lived and so many more things about your life and the things that you overcame really become the catalyst for your book. So some of that will be in your book, but most will be more about how you overcame, what you went through, helping people relate to your story, and then bringing them the answers that you've learned. So it's such a beautiful time. From that outline, you can develop blog post ideas. You can develop a business or ministry idea. You can, there's so many things that can come from that book. That book can make it possible for you to gain entrance to a conference as the speaker. You know, they'll be inviting you because now in that particular niche, you're an authority. You're an authority in that area. And people will seek you out. You'll have opportunities to speak. There's so many things that can happen as a result of the outline and then the book. So I love the process because I see authors who become my friends. I really love them. And they just wake up. A light goes off. They all of a sudden realize, I am the one to write this book. This is my story and only my story, but I know it can help others. I am a leader. I can lead the way and model the way for somebody behind me to follow in my footsteps and find the same victory or a better victory than I did. So I encourage you, I'm rambling on about this wonderful program, this workshop, but I encourage you to check it out if it's at all interesting or of interest to you. So those are some of the things that I offer. I also am a public speaker, and I speak at conferences. I do in-person classes. So just, it's who I am, what I do, what I've developed and built over the years. And right now, of course, during the coronavirus time, you know, we're doing everything online and it's very effective. It's almost like you're right here. So I'm gonna check my Facebook just to see if anybody is there right now. And if you've asked any questions, and I don't see, do I have any questions? Got a couple people watching, that's great. Okay, you can ask questions if you'd like. I was just gonna try to wrap up our summer season with just some takeaways. And every one of them, oh my gosh, every speaker that we had this summer was amazing, wasn't it? It's like, for them to so vulnerably and beautifully share of themselves and their time with our group was such a gift. And so I'm forever grateful to them. And I forever want to be I want to be like them. I never want to be to the point where I think I'm something too special, you know? I loved each one of them. Some of them they're all, if they're not famous yet, they're just about to become famous. But they're just people, right? Just like you and I. They started just like you and I. And I'm just forever grateful for their grace that they shower to share who they are. They're exactly what I'm talking about right today. They knew that they had a story. They knew they could help other people. They knew that part of the answer to their own victory and breakthrough was to take what they've learned and give it away. What a beautiful gift they give to us. And so I'm thinking of William Paul Young wrote The Shack, you know, very personal story to him that has, look at what God has done with that throughout the world. You know, setting people in prisons free, bringing healing to hearts, to millions. And I'm amazed by that. And then people like Teresa Dedman, who said as a child, she's a beautiful artist, by the way. In fact, this girl behind me with the wild hair, she painted that. She used it as a prophetic word for me, saying that I'm wild and crazy. I love that. And I bought that because I want to remember her words over my life. Beautiful artist. God really speaks to people through her art and is giving her great favor and opportunity internationally. Yet, as a child, she was told that she had no talent. And so look at what she's done. She overcame, didn't she? And she's showing us the way too for our own creativity. So, and I'm thinking of people like Chris Dotto. You know, he's in England right now. He told us the story, and he writes his book about how he listened to God and did what he said. He heard God tell him something to do, and he consecrated himself. He decided ahead of time he was going to say yes to the Lord, and his books are about that. And they're specifically written for creative people with an idea and a prophetic word on his own heart that says that artists are at the head. They're leading the army right now of Renaissance, a new awakening, revival. If you're wondering like why all of a sudden you're feeling called to write, why all of a sudden you're feeling called to learn how to paint or take classes or learn something new, I mean, it's our continued inner need to understand we're made in the image of the Father, right? In Genesis, it says they made us in their image. That means they're the creator of the universe. We're made to be creative, right? So we take that and we follow in the Father's footsteps, and we release that to a world that's hungry. We become leaders through our creativity to tell stories. So again, you know, I talk about John, the last paragraph of the book of John, the Gospel of John, talks about if all of the stories of Jesus were going to be told, there wouldn't be enough room in the world to hold the books. He wrote that 2,000 years ago, and I believe that right now, this is the time for that word. Jesus has never stopped doing things for 2,000 years, and he won't stop. He's still creating. He's still loving. He's still serving. He's still operating in signs and wonders through his people. There's still stories within you that are his story in you. So let's write those stories. God is raising us up, calling us. I believe there's provision in that to be able to do that. The people that you need, you will find to help you. You will be able to find. The fact that we have this internet, this amazing social media to share our stories, and so many ways to do it through ebooks and blogs and online self-publishing and um, you know, this is the time and we're the called. So I just want to encourage you with that. So I was going through all the people that we had speaking. They were Paul Young, Teresa Dedman, Chris Otto, PJ Clark, Jeremy Brown, Paul Manwaring, Jenda Harris, Tracy Fagan, and me, moi. So what do we all have in common? And what do you have in common with all of that list? Well, I feel like we all have passion or we wouldn't have taken this class. We all have vision. We know what's possible and what could be, right? So we have vision. We say, what if? What if I told my story and somebody got healed? What if I told my story and somebody gained new freedom in their life, in their situation, in their relationships? What if I told my story and somebody moved from extreme darkness to extreme light, from falsehood to truth in their lives, that there was an awakening of hope in their lives? What if? I urge you to do the same. What if? What if I told my story? You know, and as you answer that, I'd love to hear it. If you'd like to write to me, I would love that. This is what I love, hanging with writers, hearing what they have to say, knowing their heart, knowing their story. We all have had hardships in common. We've all had overcoming in common. We've overcome hard things. We've all had victory. If we're still in the cycle and we haven't quite overcome yet, we haven't quite reached that victory, have we? But let's give it some time and be aware and be intentional. And know when we've come full cycle and we're ready to tell that story to help others. So we all have a story to tell people can relate to. So I felt like Paul Young was all about grace. Teresa Dedman was about freedom, freedom to be who we are, identity. Chris Otto was about overcoming and trusting the Lord, listening to his voice and doing what he says. PJ Clark was about building, she had a burning desire to tell her story, knowing it would make a difference. She's doing that by teaching journaling classes right now, and she's got a book she's working on right now that is amazing. She's one of the ones that have gone through my Awaken the Author workshops. I can't wait to read her book. Jeremy Brown, you know, he's an amazing young man. Well, way younger than me, maybe older than some of you, but with a vast background and experience of trial and error and trying to make things work and not having it happen the right way, and listening to God and overcoming and using who he is and the things that he's overcome to start ministry groups in his city to help young men, and then to write books to help others people tell their story. He's become a publisher to be able to do that, and starting programs to raise up other coaches to help other leaders and to teach writers and to write stories that will change the world. So that's Jeremy. Paul Manwaring, his whole thing, he's just got so much vision. He's got drive and purpose. He's got a story of hardship to tell, and he's written 3 books on it already. It's just like he's driven, but a good driven, compelled. I would like to change the word driven to compelled, chosen, with energy behind it. That's what God gives us. He doesn't give us a stressful driving. He chooses, he compels, and he puts a passion that's an exciting and fun journey. So that's where Paul has been. And he's used all of his story to make such a difference in the United States and in Europe. I loved what he had to say about how important it is for us to be that person that God has created us to be. Jandai, just her power and her love and her wisdom to overcome, to write about what she herself has overcome and has helped other friends overcome, and to use her backstory to bring such freedom and life to others. That's awesome. And Tracy Fagan, the one that we had last week, the publisher, she was so bravely vulnerable in our talk. I just loved her. And I just felt like she modeled what is okay for us to be as well, and how we could bring true healing through who we are, the stories that we tell, to a very hurting generation. So I'm so thrilled that they all said yes to me, that they all gave me grace. And I just team up with them. I just say, go for it. For all of them and all of you, you can seek out more people, more mentors to help you. You let God speak to you about that. Please understand, none of us get to where we are if we're compelled, have passion, have an idea and a focus, and we're releasing it. We can make it take years, or with the help of a coach or mentor or life coach, we can cut that down to really focus, put a laser focus on your purpose, your calling, your gifting, and what God is bringing you to through your work. So we've all had mentors and coaches. I can honestly say, because I've become connected to some of these people that were our speakers, my own business has grown, has evolved, has taken shape, right now I'm actually developing a niche of people that I want to serve, that are my burning desire, that even if all else fails, if things look horribly bad, if I don't want to ever work again, I would still love this people group that I want to work with. Those are the kinds of things that I'm learning right now even. And so I just encourage you all to not give up hope, to say, if you don't have the money for coaching or for publishing or whatever these things cost, don't let that stop you. Don't let that be a wall. Write anyway, and trust, pray, ask God, like, what's the next step? Who can I talk to? Who might be a coach or a mentor? How can I earn some extra money so I can pay for this process? There's so many ideas out there. And I believe that if God has given you this mission, this amazing book to write, this blog to start, whatever it is that you'll be doing, ministry, nonprofit, new business, I just believe that, he's given you the idea. There is provision from heaven attached to that. I declare that now in Jesus' name in each one of your lives. So I want to do one more call. I've decided next week, it's going to be a Zoom call. I'm going to send a Zoom link to everybody. Again, it's going to be 11 o'clock Central next Thursday. You will receive a Zoom link, and this won't be on Facebook. This is just going to be a Zoom group. And so we can see each other's faces. We can have a conversation. I would like to really talk about some of the topics that we talked about this summer and how they affect you. I would like to hear some of your wisdom and learn from you. And it's free next week on Thursday. And it'll be a sample of what our coffee writers group is going to look like. So you can kind of get a feel for it to see if this is something you'd like to do. And we'll talk a little bit more about that then. But won't you join me? I'll send it to you. I'll put the link on this page as well. And so you can see it. And if you haven't sent me your email address yet, be sure that you're on my email list. It'll come to you from Chris Tracy or CA Tracy Writing Coach, or Summer Festival of Writers. We've got a couple different things going on. So I would love it if you could connect with me, stay connected, take advantage of some of these classes. If you've enjoyed this summer, there's more ahead. We're going to have more guest speakers within the Coffee Writers Group, as well as other, I don't know if I'll call them festivals, but other series that I would like to start. I've got all these ideas. You start something like this and just gradually you start moving forward, doing what God has put on your heart. And as you're going, just like Abraham, as he left his homeland, went to a land that God was going to show him, but he didn't know where. As he was going, God was lighting the path before him. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. As I'm going, God continues to lighten the path, and I'm having new opportunities, new creative ideas, new strategies. I'm understanding more of who I am, what I really am passionate about doing. I love it. I love these interviews. They're so much fun. So, for example, one idea I have for my business is to offer my authors an interview like this about their book that they can put on their book's webpage, and make it just help readers know who you are and love you from the interview so much that they want to buy your book. So that's one of my ideas. There's so many more. So we're having fun with this, and I'm learning how to fix up my office. I need to get better lighting. You know, there's all sorts of little details involved. So eventually I'll teach this class too, how to set up your office to teach classes, because I'm learning. I always like to teach what I've learned. So sounds good. Love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for your messages. Continue to send me some messages. I love that, and questions. And thank you again for joining the Summer Festival for Writers. Be sure not to miss any of the recorded messages. They're all on the Facebook page here. And I've also sent them out to people that are on my email list with links to my YouTube channel where it also appears. I'm going to be keeping these free for you until the end of September. After that, I believe I will be taking them down, and I'm learning how to put them in a package that I can make available through my website. So stay with me. Be sure to listen to all of these people that spoke directly to you. This isn't a huge group of thousands. This was such a special gift to me and to my friends who are you. So, all right. Okay. Love you all. Connect with me, www.christinetracy.com. And I'll be in touch. I wanted to let you know too, one more thing. My husband and I, Rick and I, are starting a nonprofit. It's called, I love this beautiful word. And it's going to be about, what we do as a ministry, which is, it's all about identity. We have a ministry with women called Beautiful Smart Lady Summit. We're going to be putting on another summit. And it's all about helping people understand who they are in God, who they belong to, what they're called to, what their destiny is. We have a component of that has to do with businesses starting up and connecting with each other, networking. There's all sorts of things. It's a page on Facebook, but it's also a conference we hold in Colorado. And the other part of the nonprofit is my writing, the ministry that I do around writing to help raise up writers and help them get their stories published. So, so right now I'm just creating it. There will be an LLC part of that and the nonprofit part. We're trying to work that out, what goes where, and I'm learning that too. So that might be another class I teach someday. But yeah, so that's so much fun. If you'd like to stick with us, you'll be getting more information about the nonprofit. All right. Love to all. Thanks so much for joining me. I bless your writing. Yeah, there's fire on your writing. I just declare it right now in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Bye-bye.